Hey friends, this is Caleb Townsend with Factor, and I am here to do a quick video on getting your LinkedIn settings calibrated. It's much like a machine on the manufacturing plant floor. You got to make sure your LinkedIn settings are all correct to make sure that you're fully utilizing the platform. I see a ton of mistakes on LinkedIn pages that can have devastating consequences. Sometimes that not so devastating, but still have consequences in general. And really correcting this stuff is pretty simple. First thing we're going to do here, and this is going to sound totally elementary, but is to make sure you have up-to-date contact info. To find this, you will click by your name on the drop-down box, and then this little box will appear, and you click View Profile. And in there, then you can edit your contact info. I often will see people who have company website, and when you click on it, it takes them to their previous employer. In fact, recently I had a conversation, or I pointed this out to a friend of mine who he left his company to start his own plastic injection molding business, and he still is referencing his old company. If someone were to go to his LinkedIn profile and click on company website, they'd have an opportunity to go to the previous employer's website. Another note on this is I select from this drop-down box other and then give a description for other. So instead of company website, it'll say factor website or calendar booking website. Next thing we're talking about correct title and experience. Again, this is elementary, but I see this all the time. Let's take this guy as an example. I'm not sharing their name. Their current title is Director of Engineering, Genesis Plastics and Engineering. But then when you look at their experience, they currently work for a company called Viking Plastic. It's been a year and they have not changed to update their heading on their LinkedIn profile. Sure, your title and your experience is up to date. Next is don't let messages and requests go stale. On the homepage, if you go to My Network and Messaging, you can scroll through your messages and scroll through your connections. Sometimes people send us a connection request. If we don't take action on that, then we're just missing opportunity and again, letting things go stale. Side note here, who to connect with. We talked about this every once in a while, every couple months in Factor, but I don't overthink it as far as who to connect with. All your Facebook level friends, anybody that's a customer, that's a supplier, unless your suppliers sometimes go around you and want to sell direct. All prospects, obviously, you want to connect with, and competitors. That says question mark, but I would say no. I get this question once in a while, should I connect with my competitors? I would say no, even if they are friendly competitors. Sometimes your colleagues or suppliers would go work for competitors. I would then disconnect with them. Now let's look at actual settings. To access this, you would click on the drop-down box and then click on Settings and Privacy. We're going to look at a few different settings here. I would recommend going through all of these, but the first thing is editing your public profile. This is what they can see when they are not logged in or they're just finding you through search engines. It just gives the level of access. Who can see your email address? My recommendation is put your email address in your summary at the top of the page. You also have this setting to be able to give your email address away to your contacts. Next is who can see your connections. In Factor, we talk about preparing for one-on-ones by going through the other members' connections before the one-on-one and coming prepared to ask them about 10 of their contacts to potentially get referred to. You can set the settings to where people can't see your connections. If you do that, you're doing a disservice to the members who are trying to prepare for a one-on-one. If you keep scrolling down, the next section on LinkedIn is how others will see your LinkedIn activity. One thing to note here is profile viewing options. This is where when you look at other people's profiles, it's going to say that an anonymous person viewed your profile. When you have that setting, you can't see who viewed your profile. Mentions and tags. Sometimes members, and we have members that do this a lot, and we encourage this, but you can disable people from being able to tag you and post if that's just not something that you're comfortable with. I'm very comfortable with that, and I encourage members to do that as well. Continue scrolling down as a lot of this is privacy settings. Good for LinkedIn to give us some privacy settings, at least giving us some control. A lot of people don't know that you can actually download your data. Anything from your posts to your connections and so forth. Connections would be the most important to me, if you click download there, later on, LinkedIn will send you a CSV file with your connections. Just a quick discussion today on LinkedIn behaviors and getting your settings properly calibrated. Hope you got some value and got a nugget or two. Thanks.